Hello there, fam. How are you doing today? My name is Ruthie, and you're welcome to Style with Bloom. Today, we're going to be drafting this two Bustier top with pleated sleeves. This is a dress, and to it, I have decided to add. This is a dress, and to it, I have decided to add a skirt pattern, of course. So I have a half length on my own, and this tutorial is going to have two parts. It's going to have the drafting part where you draft the pattern, and I teach you everything that entails drafting the pattern, and is going to have the cutting and the sewing part. So please do well to click on the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so that you can be a part of this channel, a part of this family, and you can see when I put up the second part of this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now. Okay, people. Okay, queens. Welcome to this tutorial. So for this tutorial, we're going to be needing our Ankara fabric. She's a petite figured person. You can see she's a size 6. In between, she's not up to size 8. So Ankara fabric is 2.5 yards. We have our tulle. We have 4 yards because we want it to really not show skin. So 4 yards. We have our bra cups, in her bust is size 34 and we're using size 36 for this tutorial. We have our lining piece. You also need that in about what you have for your um for your you also need that in about what you have for your Ankara fabric. So if it's 2.5 yards you're using for Ankara, you're using 2.5 yards for this. Of course, you need your matching thread, you need your hair stay, you need your hemming gum. This is our hemming gum. This is my hemming gum. You can have black and you can have white. This is black. In my opinion, black is stronger, but I use the both of them as necessary. There are outfits that will not allow you to use white because of the color, so we use black. And there are outfits that will not allow you to use black because they are bright colored, so you use white. So you need the both of them. You need our interfacing. You can use hair stay, you can use paper stay, you can use any interfacing of your choice that is soft and like cotton. So you need your interfacing. Even though I'm going to be using this particular interfacing for this tutorial and not the hair stay. So we're not going to be using wording for this tutorial. As you can see, the seam lines are not so visible. It means that the fabric was sewn separately and the cups were put inside, so that gives you an indication of what you can do, except you don't want that kind of finishing. And of course, you need your zipper. Excuse me, my zipper is currently not here, but I'm going to be using a nude colored zipper for this because it's the same color with the net. I will not want to use green and you're seeing green showing on the net at the back. So we're going to go ahead with this tutorial. Please stay tuned. Do well to subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you can see every part and every tutorial when they come out weekly. Thank you. Today's tutorial. Okay, so we're going to go ahead with the drafting of this pattern for the bustier. Remember, we have our shoulder to our under bust here. So first thing you want to do is, this is our midline. Remember, we cut through the midline in our basic bodice pattern, and so this is our midline. So in your whole 9.5, this is what you have left, right? This is what you have left. Okay, so at this point we're going to be going ahead to tighten our under bust. If you've not watched the basic bodice pattern, please do well to watch our basic bodice pattern. I'm going to link it in the description box. It is very detailed. Even if you're a beginner, it's for you, in fact. And then if you're just switching to pattern drafting, it's also for you. So please do well to watch that. At this point, that's the foundation. That's how I got this basic bodice, half scale basic bodice pattern. So please watch it. And so at this point, I'm going to be going ahead to tighten our under bust. Now you've drawn your basic bodice. pattern, and the next thing you do is to convert it to a bustier. You're going to tighten your under bust, and based on our pattern, we remember we had a format for getting a rectangle for the back and the front, and so based on that format, we've cut the back and the front. And after calculating your circumference measurements divided by 4 and drawing out your line, like you can see, this is the line, not this one. This one is when you've adjusted the dart. After drawing your line, you still have some ease here based on what we calculated, right? So now, that's what we're going to use to tighten the underbust. There are different formulas, but this is the formula that I am using currently. And so, we're going to measure what we have here. It's about 1.25, inches, of course, inches. And so, you're going to divide 1.25 by 2, as you can see here. And so from your dart, your original dart that you took for in your basic bodice, you're going to just add half of what you divided by 2, 1.25. So you half of 1.25 on one side and half of 1.25 on the other side. Now I'm still using pencil, please, because I don't want to have to be inaccurate as much as this is tutorial. This is very important that it comes out properly. So you're going to connect this to your bust point. And you can see the way I'm placing this curve. You're going to make sure that your curve is not, the curve that connects to the bust point is not so curvy. You're going to make sure of that so that you don't have issues when you're joining. This is very important. So you can see what we did here. It's just appropriate. We're also going to repeat that for the second side. Make sure that your curve is not too curvy. It should not be straight, please, but it should not be too curvy. You can see it's just slightly curved. Now we've done our underbust tightening. We're going to just bring that into the waist line by drawing a straight line down. Just a straight line, nothing. And we're also going to do that on the second side. And so we've tightened our underbust area. So I'll highlight that later with the marker, but for now, let's let it be like that in case we need to do any erasing. So you're going to go up from you're going to measure the difference between your bust to your underbust. For this person, it is 4. Her shoulder to bust point is 10. Shoulder to underbust is 14. By the time you subtract 10 from 14, you have 4 for her. So we're going to go up by 4. That's called her cleavage measurement. Some people also call this the overbust line. And we're going to extend this line up to the back pattern as well. So try to match up your front and your back patterns and just draw that line straight. Now to extend it to the back, you measure from the shoulder line to the line. It is 6. So you come down from the back by 6 and you mark. That's how to get your basic cleavage measurement. Now when you do this, whatever you sew will not expose so much of your bust, because it's like if you take this point round now, if I choose to take this 4 round, the other one is 3.5, so it's not be, but that's for the middle. But if I choose to take it round, I can choose, now use a compass to draw it. You have your entire bust sitting there. That's how to get it. So you now know, okay, if I do something here to show, if I do something here, it won't show. So at this point, it's basically covered to show, but just a little. Just a little. So for this client, since we're going to be literally doubling the net 2 times, I'm going to come down by half of an inch because there's nothing that's going to be showing for her, and we don't want that area where the tulle and the Ankara fabric meet to just be too short and look funny. So I came down a bit by half, even though she doesn't want her cleavage to show. I came down by half of an inch, making it 6.5, and that 6.5 is what I'm taking for the neck depth. Now that is what I'm going to use to connect the back and the front. So just watch me join all the points together. So we have been able to add that to the back. Be able to add that as well to the back pattern. So you have your, that's what I'm going to be using as neck depth for this pattern. So at this point, you're going to draw out, you can now separate your back and your front. You're going to draw out your shoulder dart. Now this is a shoulder dart bustier, as you know, but it's a tube. So it's not just the regular shoulder dart bustier, it's a tube. And so because it's a tube, we're going to need to tighten on this line so that you don't have any part just, they call it gaping, but you don't have any part loose, and when she bends down the breast is showing, that kind of issue. So we're doing this so that she doesn't have any part of that place just loose and not properly put together when she wears this dress. So what we're going to be getting our shoulder darts, and how to get your shoulder darts, you're going to divide the neck width to your shoulder point. Of course, our shoulder line is here, and for how we have 4, so you're going to divide it into 2, and you're going to connect it to your waist, to your bust point with a straight line. A straight line. So after connecting that to our bust point, you're going to do the tightening. Now, before doing the tightening, I'm going to do some alterations. So I want you to see that on this chest line, we're going to go up by half of an inch. Half of an inch. You're going to draw out this line straight with your pencil, and then you're just going to let it be there, right? So you can see how I did it. Just leave it there. I'm going to show us what we're going to do with it later. So on this point, for the tightening, some people do a basic of half on both sides, but I am doing 1 on the mid panel and ½ inch on the side panel. So you measure that out, then you're going to take your curve again. Now we don't need it to be curvy. We don't need it to be so curvy. You just need it to be just appropriate, well curved but not too curvy. You're going to place this and you're going to connect to your bust line. You're going to connect to your bust line. Now we're also going to repeat the same thing for the second one. You're going to make sure that this is not too curvy, and this is where the real temptation is, because it is 1 inch. It has the potential to be very, very curvy. So you're going to do that. You're going to connect it straight in, and then basically you have your tightening. Now I don't want it to be too curvy, but I don't want it to be too straight either, because this is the bust area, and whether you like it or not, we're getting our shaping from here. So I've connected that, and you can see what we have here. Now you're going to replace that here, because if you don't replace it on your armhole line, if you don't replace it, you're going to have shortage, and it's not even be funny. So our 1.5, we're replacing it here. We're replacing the 1.5 here, and then you're going to take your curve and you are going to connect. You're going to connect the armhole, the 1.5, to this line that you came up by. Remember, you came up by ½ an inch. You're going to connect it like this. This is our neckline. There are certain points I'm still leaving because I want us to finish first before I connect our points. So at this point, you're going to slash through your shoulder line. Please, when you're slashing through, you're going to make sure you leave this place untouched, because anything you need to add, you're adding here. So make sure you leave it untouched. You're going to slash through your shoulder line. And you're going to close your bust dart. Now you can see where the bust dart is. So because you have slashed through your line, you have opened another dart, you're now able to close this one. So you fold it, as you can see me doing, and you close it up. And one of the indications that you really got this area well and it's not too curved is that your bust dart, this area doesn't look too curvy, even if you have closed your bust dart. Now closing your bust dart has equalized your front and your back pattern at the sides. I'm going to show you that at the end of this pattern drafting tutorial. So you go ahead and you tape it down, make sure it's properly closed, and we're going to continue with our alterations at the top. So now you know that for this style, this area is straight. I'm going to leave it like that, but for this area like this, we're going to connect it. Can you see what I'm doing here? Now, because this is a tube, the armhole area is always fitted and then curved, but I don't want this place to be straight. So I'm going to curve it in. I'm going to curve it in like so. You're going to curve it in a way that you don't eat into the shortage that the darts that you replaced, and it is not straight. The major aim is that it's not straight, so we're going to curve it back into the neckline, and we're going to just blend it in like this. You can choose to now use your curve after using your hand, or basically, so you can see you have your new armhole. So at this point, we're going to basically, you see you're done with this pattern. I'm going to cut it out for us to see, so that you don't have you can see what to expect. I know what to expect. Now, before cutting out the darts, there's something I like to do. I'll measure and see that everything we have is the same. Like on your bust point, you measure your bust divided by 4, which is 8.5. So you can see I even have more than 8.5. I have like 9.5. In your under bust, you measure. My under bust is 27. Under bust circumference. So I'm measuring out 27. It's divided by 4. That's 6.75. This is 2.25 to the dart point, and then you continue from the next dart point to your 2.25, and you have your 6.75. You have your 6.75. You can choose to mark them out so that we can properly cut this when we are ready. Then for your waistline, it's supposed to be 6.5. You have your 2.25. From your 2.25, you're going to measure 6.5. So we're not snatching any waist here. This is a regular bustier. And so you can see what we have. So you can choose to even add the one for the bust. 8.5. And then remember we had ease for ease on that area, so 9. So basically you have what you need. So we're going to go ahead and cut out. I'm going to teach you certain things before we end this tutorial. You're going to cut out your darts, shade what we're cutting out. So I'm cutting this out completely, this entire area. So cut out your yoke. You cut out your armhole area. So you can see what we have here is not so pointy, and that's a very important part of this tutorial. That this is not too pointy. So you can see what we have here, basically. So if you're using your yoke, you just basically cut this back in. Remember that we cut this out of our shoulder area. You cut it. So if you're using a yoke, you just join this back with your tape, your cello tape, and you have your yoke pattern for your front. So you cut it on fold. You cut on fold. And then At this point, I'm going to be showing us a very important step. This step helps you to really know whether you got this right, and if you did not get it right, please go and draft another pattern or find another way of doing it. Don't go and cut someone's clothes and have issues. So, I learned this, and I'm going to share it with us. This is a way to just know whether you got this right. You tape at the bust point. This is supposed to be a transparent sellotape so that you don't have issues. Then you join your darts together, your underbust to underbust, and you tape. You just bring it together like this and you tape it. And you try not to tape it too hard because you're going to bring it out eventually. When you're taping, please be very careful not to make it hard so you don't see your paper when you're removing the tape. Now you're doing your front, your bust to bust, and then your neckline. Now I'm going to show us something. Can you see this closely? There are times that this is not a sweetheart neckline. That's why you don't have so much shortage. Sweetheart neckline, please don't cut out your yoke like this many times if you have a yoke, because if you try to blend any neckline and you cut it, it's going to alter your yoke and you're going to have shortages, or it's not give the perfect shape. So you can cut out your yoke separately. But here's what you can do. The moment you have a shortage, or you have one side shorter than one side, that's what the shortage means. For this, we have this literally almost equal. Even if I decided to cut it like this, I will not have any issues because the line is literally straight, it's not curved. So that's the advantage, bro. But many times you can see that we everything has its curve already. You can take the person's bust already. So once there's a shortage, in fact, once it's a sweetheart neckline, you would have to join it together like this, because if you do this on fabric, you would already be joining the fabric and you're not able to fix the shortage issue. So the moment one side is shorter than one side, you place it like this. You tape your paper at the back. You tape your paper at the back so that this new paper is attached to this one, and then you just take your curve and blend the lines into each other. Can you see that? When you do that, you now go ahead and cut out your paper. By the time you do that, any shortage that you have would have been eliminated. Okay, I have another pattern. Let me use that to show us, to illustrate this to us. Now you can see this pattern. It's very similar to this one. After we join the up and the side and the middle like this, you can see that one side was long, this side was higher than this side. Now that's what I mean. You put a piece of paper like so. Put a piece of paper. You keep them joined together. Put a piece of paper. You use your marker and connect this into that. Can you see what I'm doing here? Now by the time you join the piece of paper at the back and you cut this out, this paper will become part of this one. This will have become part of this. So you just cut and then you have it equal. So that's when you can now choose to separate your pattern, and that's when you can choose to separate your pattern and go ahead and cut on your fabric. So let me cut this out so you can see what I mean. So you can see there's no more shortage. We fixed it. So that's how to fix your shortage. So we're going to be going ahead to draft the back pattern. We're going to go ahead and alter our back like we've done before. And for the back, you're going to extend this your dart line into the. You're going to extend your dart line into the new neckline that you have. I hope you can see the new neckline that you have. Let me highlight so that you can see. That's your 6.5 points. So you have this, right? So I've extended the dart into it. Then from there, you're going to come in by 1/2 inch. People do 0.25, but I am doing half because I want this to have a fit, and at the same time I'm going to eliminate this dart. So you're just going to connect it straight to the down, and straight to the half inch, straight to your original dart. Let me not confuse you. Connect this straight down to your original dart, and literally we're going to be cutting the entire surface area out. Now we're going to eliminate this dart. So just like you did in front, you're going to come up by half of an inch on your chest line, connect it to the end, and then you're going to blend it into your new neckline. Of course, you're going to, on this neckline, you're going to add in your one, this is 1 inch, right? Half and half one. So you're going to put in your 1 inch. Whatever you took here, you're going to put it here. And then you're going to blend in this armhole. And that's your back. So if you like, you can choose to slant the not slant, but you can choose to curve in your back neckline. But because of what we're doing at the back, there's no need to curve this in. You can actually choose to curve it in, maybe come in by half of an inch, use your curve and connect. But for this client, I'm choosing to play safe. We don't want her back to be too deep, so I'm not going to curve anything in. I'm just going to let it be, but if you want, you can curve it in. So at this point, we're going to cut out our back. Of course, this is your yoke. So please indicate so that you don't have issues. Indicate what is or what. I'm not going to be separating this back pattern because I don't want to have to sew so many pieces. So we're going to close the dart. We've taken out the dart. The pattern knows when you put on the person's body, you know that a dart has been taken out. It's going to be shaped. It's going to be shapy. And we're going to close this right out so that you don't have issues. You don't have too much work. You want to sew it separately? Of course you can. And then our yoke pattern for the back. So here's your yoke pattern for the back if you want to. The label. Of course, this gives you enough indication that this is the front yoke. So you have your back. Ensure that you add your seam and your zipper allowance. You know, in our basic bodice, we did not add the zipper allowance. We just created the new center back line. So you must add your 1 inch here. You must add your half inch here. You must add your half inch here, and your half inch to your armhole area. So see our front and our back patterns. They match. They match each other. Of course, the front armhole is usually deeper than the back, so it's very normal to see one part a bit higher than the other up here. But you can see that there's a matching literally from up down because we have closed our bust dart. So if you open this out, it is too long. So if you don't close your bust dart, your patterns will not match. Please close your bust dart. Be very careful. Oops, looks like I just stole my paper. Please ensure that you also measure up and cut out your front properly so that you don't have excess, but ensure that minimum that you're adding as side seam allowance is minimum you're adding a side seam allowance is 1 inch so that you don't um end up with shortage or you don't easily outgrow your clothing. So we have 9. So you go ahead and thank you so much for watching. We're going to go ahead and cut on our fabric in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Do well to watch out for the part 2 to be out in a very short time. Thank you so much. Bye for now.